sometimes there are times where if you want different outcomes, there has to come a point in your life where the mind has to be renewed. How you look at situations, how you view relationships, how you look at your money, how you look at health, how you look at all these dynamics that we all come to a point where we want to see long-lasting results in. But some things won't change until you change your mind, until you renew your mind. You got to put new things in your mind. You got to surround yourself with a different group of people that's speaking a different language. Something that I recently discovered about language. You know, every facet of life, this goes way deeper than what you would call languages of different nationalities and ethnic groups. If you are a carpenter, there's a language in carpentry. If you are a plumber, there is a language that comes with plumbing. If you are a lawyer, there's a language that comes with the law. And so with that, if whatever you want to do differently, think differently, speak differently, you have to learn the language that's going to bring change in your life. And a lot of times it starts right here in the mind first. You're changed by the renewing of your mind. Get connected back to the Most High. He'll never leave you nor forsake you. You and I done been through enough in our life and experienced enough in our lives. You see, I got a gray hair that's showing. That means I done hit a few blocks in my life where I was privileged enough to see certain things and acquire wisdom along the way that helped me to change certain mindsets, behaviors, even what I say out my mouth. But it won't come until you realize everything that you and I want out of life or in life starts from within. And if you're not ready to do the work from within, stop complaining about what's going on around you. Stop complaining about what they saying. Stop complaining about what you're saying, how they making you feel. Stop all that. Look from within. Start digging deeper. Get your pickaxe, get your water hose, get your shovel. Start learning how to uproot certain thought patterns and things that you discovered in your childhood that brought damage. You know what I mean? That brought, you know what I mean, that undermine your growth. You know, some people that you'll meet in life, man, you know, when they hit tragedy and when they hit pinch points in their life, they revert back to a point in their life where they begin to act in a behavior that's no more than 8 to 12 years old. They throw temper tantrums. They say whatever out their mouth because of how they feeling. And when I say things about learning new languages, unfortunately, you and I wasn't taught about emotional regulation, conflict resolution. You know what I mean? Knowing how to walk away. Nigga, you ain't no chump if you walk away from certain situations. Learn to walk away. Learn to take a deep breath of 3. And to come back to that situation so you don't find yourself in a position where you giving the city that you live in free money. You giving bail bondsmen free money. You giving lawyers free money because you didn't take the time out to learn how to regulate what you're feeling. And even though you may be feeling whatever you're feeling in this moment right now, there is a way that you can still express yourself, get your point across without crashing out. Time out for crashing out. Especially when you get a certain age, man. Come on, man. We got to change. We got to elevate. And a lot of times elevation don't come without separation. Until you're really willing and ready to elevate, you got to look at your environment and think, is this environment, is these group of people, is this family dynamic really is inspiring me and encouraging me to change things as it relates to behavior, as it relates to how I think, as it relates to my feelings, as it relates to how I approach situations? Is it teaching me how to think more logical in a more healthy manner without feeling like just because it didn't go my way today that I gotta let what didn't happen today dictate and control the rest of my day? Nothing changes until you change. And when you're ready to change, as they used to say, the old saying goes, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And regardless of whatever that teacher looks like, you will know what that teacher looks like when it appears. But the teacher won't appear until you're ready to change. Change don't come without resistance. Change don't come, sleeping up under, a comforter that you paid, $500 for. Don't matter. Nothing changes until you're ready to change. And maybe that will require you getting away from certain people. Maybe that requires of you learning how to slowly bag out of certain, patterns of, hang-ups and addictions and, learning these things. The second most popular search engine, hugest search engine in the world is YouTube. Number one is Google. There's a multi-billion dollar worth of information that can help you with literally anything that can help you change your way of thinking as you approach situations as they relate to your everyday life. I had to learn how not to approach things in my life with being anxious, being impatient, giving time. You done heard me say this before. Some things in life you gotta give time, man. Sometimes you are your worst critic. And then, when people don't see the way you think, you make them the enemy. Stop pointing the finger, man, and start looking in the mirror and saying, what is it about me that needs to change so I can have a better, healthy perspective on how I see things that's around me or life in general. It's not going to come easy. What I'm talking about right now, it's not for the weak. You just can't pick this up out of a curriculum. Sure, there's information out there that can give you an idea of the outcome that you want to accomplish. But sometimes, man, you got to get down in the mud, man, and unearth some things. See those earthworms for where they are. And a lot of times, the only way you're going to see those things, you got to flip those rocks over. But until you're ready to change, look around. Do you like what you see? Well, if the answer is no, start within. Nothing changes until you're ready to change. This is your big bro. This is your uncle. This is the spirit of a father, a brother, a friend, confidant. What I'm telling you, this ain't nothing that I haven't lived. And I want to see you make it. Hell, God want to see you make it. But regardless of that, do you want to see you make it? Do you want to make it? Because as I say again before I get up out of here, nothing changes until you change. How you see life is a program that was installed into you probably from childhood, somewhere along adolescent life. But there's a program that's running on automatic right now that's full of viruses, that's contaminating your way of thinking. And it's clogging up your internal system, where it's creating false perceptions and realities that really don't exist but in your own head. Enough of this pointing finger. Everything that is due to you has already been put in you by the Most High God himself. Don't take what I'm saying lightly. You can blow it off, all I care. But those of you that actually wants to see change, holler at me, get at me, DM me. Let's have a conversation. Cause I'm look, let me tell you something. I am not far removed from what I'm telling you. Cause I gotta get up and put on a pair of pants one leg at a time, just like you do. I gotta put on my socks one foot at a time, like you do. My shoes, one shoe at a time, like you do. Nobody's exempt. This is not about, you know what I mean, me being better than you, or you feeling like you better than me, or you know what I mean. I ain't trying to hear that. That's on you. Live your life how you want to live it. But don't complain about when things or the results that you're after are not, you know what I mean, coming to fruition, because you don't want to do the work to change up here. I love you. You got what it takes. Stop making excuses. You ain't lame, man. Stop acting like you lame. You got what it takes. Get away from the stinking thinking environments that's continually reinforcing, whereby you perpetuate the same cycle of stinking thinking. Enough of that BS. Let's rise above the situation, and let's get down the road, and let's see what God has in store, and let us see the full potential of what you can become once you get out of your own way. But the only way you can get out of your own way, you got to be ready to participate in your own rescue. I leave you with that. This has been your big bro. I love you. Talk to you later. Y'all be easy.